Back in the old days of gaming, there was rarely a good reason to get excited about a game based on a license. Mostly, they were shovelware, designed to catch the crest of a branding wave rather than made with the fans of the show or film in mind. REIGNS' Game of Thrones is very different though. As REIGNS fans will already know, you play a monarch ruling your kingdom who needs to make difficult decisions. Along the top of the screen there are meters that represent your popularity with different factions in the world. If any of these ever fill up or empty completely, it's game over. You're trying to rule for as long as possible, whilst also attempting to discover the secrets and mysteries that underpin the world. REIGNS' Game of Thrones follows a similar path, but it throws in a few twists along the way. For one thing, you play as multiple characters from the show. Certain characters can trigger events that will protect them from the whims of their populace. Put it this way, if you're playing as Daenerys and you've woken up your dragon, there's a pretty good chance people are going to do what you say. You can also travel between destinations in the realm of Westeros. There are battles and tourneys to engage in, plus plenty of wheeling, dealing, and subterfuge as well. But no matter how complex the politics, everything still plays out with the super simple swipe left or swipe right mechanic. You can almost think of this interpretation of REIGNS as a bit like a Metroidvania game, albeit without the platforming or the boss fights. There are things to discover that are going to unlock new opportunities and characters, and those opportunities are always well signposted before you have the knowledge to get them. Because it's not new skills or powers that will save you, it's information. Secrets you discover at one edge of your nascent empire might well change the way you act with people at the other end. Even short reigns can alter the way you think about your favourite characters. Slivers of information can shift your perspective in incredibly subtle ways, and working out what to do with the whispers you uncover is a good chunk of the fun here. You'll find the exploration really satisfying too, not just the world of Game of Thrones, but of the character paths, flitting between the different kings and queens and generating new relationships and stories. Then there's winter. Survive on the Iron Throne for enough time, and eventually the long night descends on Westeros. Then your decisions become more difficult, and the consequences more deadly, as the spectre of the Night King haunts everything you do. Now, there are some issues. For one thing, the writing in the game, while still good, isn't up to the standard of REIGNS Her Majesty. We spotted spelling and grammar mistakes as well, which is a bit of a kicker in a game that's basically all reading and swiping. And then there's the danger inherent in all REIGNS games. A couple of bad stints in charge, and you're going to start wondering what the point of playing is. REIGNS Game of Thrones counters that with faces that you recognise. You're far more likely to push on if you're unlocking characters that you're familiar with. Sometimes stories fizzle out before you've got to the bottom of them, and there's no way to keep track of what you know and what you think you know except in your own head. But, importantly, this mashup of prestige TV and mobile gaming does work. Neither franchise has been forced into an unnatural mold just for the sake of cash. It's a coming together of two concepts that gel in really interesting ways. REIGNS grows as much from the connection to Game of Thrones as Game of Thrones does. And whether you're just looking for a decent sequel to REIGNS, or a Game of Thrones themed distraction to keep you going till the new season drops, you'll definitely find something to love here.